So of course this product is completely fictional. I mean, if you could buy bottled up procrastination, I'd be very, very worried. But yes, in essence, there is a tip where procrastination can help you be more productive. I watched a recent video from Elizabeth Phillips, who discussed a study which highlighted the reasons as to why this tip works so well, and it also reminded me of what I've been doing anyway. I've mentioned it once before with my tips. When I leave my writing mid-chapter, I like to come back to things mid-flow. So one of the studies, which, don't quote me on this, go check out her video, which is in the link in the description below, is where people have tasks to complete and half of them are allowed to complete the task and go about their business, and the other half are not allowed to complete the task and go about their business. Now, the ones who completed their task were able to recall less about the task than the ones that had it incomplete. So it highlights that if you don't complete a task, it sticks in your mind and you start to think about the actual task at hand and wanting to get back to it and wanting to complete it, even though the tasks in this particular study were quite mundane. They weren't exciting at all, but leaving something incomplete was enough of a desire to get people to think about it more and most likely come back and complete the task. Because, it's unsatisfying. If you start something, you want to finish it, don't you? But then the danger on the flip side is if you finish it, you're less likely to come back to it. Or if you didn't start it at all, maybe you wouldn't even think about doing it in the first place. Which brings me on to the tip which I use most often and have done for quite a while, and that's trying not to leave a chapter clean. So what I mean by this is if you start writing a chapter, when you get to the end of it, that's not when your writing session stops. That you don't stop there. You either continue on writing into the next chapter. It could be a few sentences. Doesn't have to be much, just something to help and prompt you and to push you on and to get you thinking for the next chapter when you step away from your computer. Now, it's not quite the tip that Elizabeth was talking about, but I guess if you were to use how I write with the tip that she's mentioned, it would be the initial getting to write. So instead of me, waiting to get into writing, you sit at your computer and before I've even given my brain any chance, you just start typing. Just start typing whatever it is. Obviously, if you're starting midpoint through a chapter, it's going to be a lot easier to continue on, where if you're at a start of a new chapter, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But in essence, if you can get yourself to start the task at hand, whether it's writing, whether you're putting a shelf up, doing some home DIY, or whatever project you're up to, if you can start doing it and then step away and procrastinate, maybe watch a film, maybe a film might be a little bit too long, maybe watch a series, an episode of something, maybe go and sit in the garden, go out for a walk. Doing so after you've started your task will begin to play on your mind and will hopefully draw you back in so you feel the desire to continue on with it and to finish it, compared against if you've never started it at all. If you decided to go out for a walk before you've even started, it's still going to be just pushing back this goal that you're trying to achieve. Where if you start, then try to do something, the desire to come back to it will be a lot stronger because you've already made one of the hardest steps, which is to actually start the project. And for myself personally, it works. Although my method is more about just not leaving a blank page and always coming back to something mid-sentence so I can easily continue the flow, it's within the same sort of sphere. Because when I step away, I don't immediately forget. I'm mid-flow, I've got ideas, and it's good because it allows me, I can step back either very quickly between if I'm just going out to do something, or if it's late at night, the flow is still there. And although I'm going to sleep, which is perhaps kind of irritating sometimes when I've got all these ideas swimming around in my brain, just have a bit of paper or your phone, maybe not your phone, that's more of a distraction really, a bit of paper by your bed, and scribble down these ideas that perhaps come to you when you're trying to sleep, that you could perhaps push your story further with. So when you wake up, the next time you go and attack your computer, you've got these ideas on a bit of paper. Jumping in to your story and using these ideas that you scribbled down from leaving it sort of mid-chapter last time will help you then start and get back into it. And then if you go and step away from this task and relax for a little bit, the desire to come back should be a lot stronger. But yes, I also noticed that I have this quirk with tea. So I don't have a tea here at the moment, but when I have a cup of tea, when I start drinking the tea, I have to finish it. I don't want to put the cup down until I'm done with the task at hand and completed it, and I can put it down empty-handed and I've had a nice hot cup of tea and I don't have to worry about it getting cold. I don't want to do it in 2 or 3 stunts. I have to do it in one go. Otherwise, I might forget it. And, you know, drinking it all in one go means I can tick it off. I've had my tea, all done and dusted, get back to writing. It's an odd thing, I know. And yes, it's pretty wild. I can perhaps do it in 2 sort of goes, but I prefer to just drink my tea almost in one. It's very strange, I know. I'm thinking it's just because I don't want the idea of my tea getting cold or forgetting about it hanging over my head whilst I'm trying to focus on something else. It's yeah, it's a little bit odd. But yeah, thought I'd make a video on this because I haven't actually heard this tip before and it was a different angle to the tip that I used. It's less about how you leave your writing and more about how you get started with it and to just attack it, get some words down. Feel free to leave it, but then because it's incomplete, you should hopefully have that pullback for you to then sit down and continue on with the already started piece that you're working on, which will be a lot easier because you've already got words down on paper. But yeah, that's it for this video. Feel free to check out Elizabeth Phillips' video in the description below, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers for watching. Are you tired of procrastinating without getting stuff done? Not getting the relaxation you deserve? Or tired of missing your word count? Try out Procrastination PRO Xtreme! With this, you'll procrastinate but complete all those pesky tasks. From finishing that book to cleaning the house, this gets stuff done.